the lower part of Texas, you can see shaded in this graphic called the Southwest Texas Border Region. There's 11 small business development centers. We cover San Antonio and the surrounding counties. There's other SBDCs from El Paso to Alpine to Brownsville over to Corpus and some other ones in between. We're hosted by UTSA, so we're actually UTSA employees. We're paid by the state. We're UTSA employees. A little bit of a correction on your agenda where you say we offer free services. We don't like to use the word free. We like to say we're prepaid, thanks to mostly through your sales tax dollars. Our salaries and operational budget is paid for. We get a little bit of funding. 25% of our funding is from the SBA. So that takes me to the next logo here, the Small Business Administration. A lot of people get us confused. They come to us, they think we're the SBA and we make loans. We got money, in the back room in a safe. We don't. We're SBA funded. They fund us. They fund another organization called SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives. Now they're like KFC. They're not Service Corps of Retired Executives anymore. They're now just SCORE, but they are ex corporate executives, and they provide volunteer advising to small businesses and entrepreneurs. We're also a nation, as I mentioned, not only in Texas, but we're nationwide. We're actually a nationwide nonprofit, and every major city in the U.S. and Puerto Rico and some of the territories have an SBDC. There's over 900 small business development centers. And again, we're taxpayer funded, so we like to say you've already paid for our services. Make sure you take advantage of our services. In a nutshell, this is what we do. Two main things, and I have them bolded here. Advising, so we provide no cost, and again, we don't like to use the word free. No cost, one-on-one confidential business advising, and also training. We do about 20 workshops a month, times 12, over 240 workshops a year. A lot of them repeat, Start Smart class, how to write a business plan. There's some other ones that we repeat every month. And then there's some others that, depending on the feedback we get, we hire or not hire, I'm sorry. We engage outside subject matter experts. So probably somebody from this group, I saw some of those videos, how to do a product label and some of those other things. We always have business owners, wanting to know, hey, how can I get somebody to help me to spruce up my web page, or I need a flyer or whatever. So maybe one of you can come and teach a workshop, and maybe just basics. Hey, how do I create a flyer, or how do I do a product label? Something like that could be something that we would have you come and give a workshop on. And again, just like advising, those are all remote. Right now we're doing it all online. Referrals, we know a lot of people. We know lenders, we know service providers. When I say service providers, I mean attorneys and CPAs and different contractors and graphic artists and you name it. We run across them. They're clients. They're people that teach our workshops. And so somebody will ask us, hey, do you know a good whatever? We'll never give just one name. We always give them a list. We have what we call a services list, and we'll give them, we got 10 on the list. We'll give them the whole list. There's a disclaimer that basically says, hey, these are service providers that have agreed or would like to work with small business. And our disclaimer is, we don't endorse them. Do your own due diligence, ask questions to make sure you're comfortable with the person you're going to be working with. Market research, I'll cover that in a little bit, but again, back up to business advising. It kind of breaks down to two different tracks. People that want to start a business, we call them entrepreneurs. Hey, I want to start a business. I don't know what to do. How do I start? That's why we have a class called Start Smart, and it covers, what should you think about before starting a business? You should write a business plan. You should do market research. You should talk to customers. Oh, you got to pay taxes. What kind of legal structure are you going to be? Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Are you going to be a limited liability company? All those sorts of things we talk about in a 2-hour class, no charge, called Start Smart. And so we help startups, but then we also help existing businesses. And so our help to them usually comes in the form of, hey, I've been leasing space for 5 years. I want to buy my own building, or I want to build my own building, or hey, I want to expand. I need to buy some more equipment, manufacturing equipment, or I want to hire more people. And so usually there's a loan involved in there. And so we'll help them. We don't write it for you, but we'll help you write your own business plan. And again, I mentioned some of the categories. We'll help you with information. We'll review it. We'll critique it. We'll, basically be a third eye and set of eyes, and review and critique your business plan. And then also something called financial projections. If you're going to get a loan more than about $30,000, the bank wants to see a business plan. And they also want to see something they call financial projections, which is a fancy word for, hey, for the next 2 years, what are your estimates of income and expenses, and therefore net income? So it's a forward-looking income statement, or some people use the term profit and loss statement. But we help them develop that, project sales, estimate sales, do market research. What are your expenses going to be? And the bank wants to see, and they do some analysis. They want to see that you can afford to pay this loan off. You're going to take out a loan. You're going to open this business, and your projections show that you can afford to pay the loan payment every month. So those are kind of the two main things we help people with: business plans, financial projections. But we also do some other things, and I'll talk about those here in a little bit. And we like to say we're here for the life of your business, not just for startup, but through your growth and beyond. As I mentioned, we're downtown. This is, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but I'm circling this add-on to the Durango building. All the buildings downtown Trivia are named after the street that they face. So this is the Durango building, and even though they changed the street to Cesar Chavez, we still call it the Durango building. But we occupy this thing called the Institute for Economic Development. Occupies all 4 floors. And here's some of the other sister centers that occupy the building with us. So we have the International Trade Center. So maybe you're in business, maybe you want to export. And so there are business advisors. And again, the same thing, they're grant funded by to be honest, I'm not sure who they're funding, but it's maybe SBA or maybe another entity. Grant funded, there's business advisors there to help you put a plan together to export. And as you can imagine, there's all kinds of other things you need to know. You need to know about customs and brokers and letters of credit and ports of entry, and even custom. What are the customs in the Middle East versus Asia versus other cultures. And so they have advisors to help with that. For some strange reason, if you want to get involved in selling to the federal government, to the state government, to the county government, to the city, we have another center called the Center for Government Contracting. And so they'll help you get ready, get small business certifications. You may or may not know, when federal, city, state agencies need services, they put out requests for proposals. Just like we help people with their business plan, they'll help people with their request for proposal to build a building or stripe the parking lot or provide catering services or whatever. SBDC Net, this is probably one of the more important or most used, I should say, resources. So they actually are our market research group. As an advisor, I can tell a client, hey, okay, we're going to write this business plan, and you're thinking of locating at this San Antonio intersection, corner of 281 and Evans Road. And so I can put in a request for the client. And again, there's no charge for that. and I can put in a request, and there's I don't know, about a dozen set report requests, demographic information, drive time information, sample business plan. There's a lot of different information. And basically, I can get back demographic information, spending patterns, all kinds of information. And so that's actually a national program. Remember I mentioned 900 plus SBDCs. They happen to be located right above us on the third floor if we were back at the office, but they actually provide support to all 900 SBDCs. So from California to South Dakota to New York to Florida, there are business advisors there in small business development centers that can submit a request online, and they request that information and it comes to the office over here. And so there's a little bit of a wait. It's about two and a half weeks before we get that information. The Technology Commercialization Center, fairly new. They've been in operation maybe 4 years now. They focus on, I'm going to call them high tech or high growth companies. If you know anything about federal research dollars, there's a program called Small Business Innovation Research, Small Business Technology Transfer Research. Those are grants from federal agencies to small business to do some sort of research. So for instance, Department of Defense, the Army may want a radio battery. Currently, the radio battery that an infantry guy on the ground carries around, maybe that battery weighs 10 pounds and lasts for 10 hours. Well, they want the battery to weigh 5 pounds and last for 20 hours. And so besides the Army and whoever else doing research, they'll contract out to small business to do some research. Maybe they have some innovation that they can bring to the table. COVID Business Recovery Accelerator, that's just was stood up back in April or May of last year. Basically, we got some CARES Act funding to bring on additional advisors. Too much information, but right when we went remote in March, from March through April, May, June, even July, they had those federal programs come out, the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. We went from about, 50 calls a week to about 300. We were working remote. We worked 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. We were just totally swamped. And so we were able to get some funding to bring some additional advisors on board. And that's the COBRA, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Again, too much information, but they're sort of like the Center for Government Contracting. They're helping you with federal contracting, requests for proposals, and that sort of stuff. They kind of sort of do the same thing, but they're different. And it has to do with as we say, the color of their money. One of them is funded by some certain dollars and another one by another set of dollars. So anyway, probably too much information. Here's our service area. Most of our small business clients come from Bexar County, but we're also responsible for these other adjacent counties. Remember, I mentioned the SBDC network, and I showed you here it is down here, this shaded part of Texas. So the UTSA SBDC covers these counties, and then those other 9 centers cover the other counties, however many counties that is. I always forget the number. More about what we do. Again, I mentioned kind of 2 basic things, but again, business planning. We help you with market research, help you develop your project cost, human resources. We know some basic information. There's one advisor that resides in a sister center, Deidre Patillo. She's a certified human resource specialist, and so any business that starting or already in business, they want help with job description, pay data, wage surveys, interviewing skills and techniques, employee handbooks. What's the latest with COVID and the CARES Act, the family. I forget the name of it now, but there was some programs for family because of COVID and whatnot. So she's the one advisor. She's really busy, usually 2 weeks out because she's so busy. social media, financial projections. I mentioned those. Those are basically forward-looking income statements that you would submit to a bank in case you wanted to get a loan. Website evaluation, basically look at your website, give you some critiques on it. And then, of course, we have training. Different trainers come in to train social media. And we haven't done so much website lately. It's mostly been social media. Projections, QuickBooks training. We teach QuickBooks. That is one of the few workshops that we do charge for. All these other workshops are no cost, but QuickBooks we do charge 3 sessions. You can do one or all three. It's $100 a session, or if you sign up and take all three, it's $250. So you get a $50 discount. And again, we're just whatever the small business client needs, meet one-on-one with an advisor, tell them what kind of help you need, and they'll work with you to help you achieve your business goals. Here's some other specialty things. BMC, maybe you may have heard of a brainstorming tool called a business model canvas. It's kind of one of these big put up on a whiteboard, 9 blocks. They correspond to the different sections of a business plan roughly, but it's kind of more of a visual brainstorming tool. Again, who are my customers? Who are my competitors? What resources do I need? What products and services? What's my value proposition, right? Why should somebody come to your Mexican food restaurant in San Antonio? You're going to be number 1001. Anyway, lean canvas, human resources, like I mentioned, market research, and just, referring you to other service providers. Here's some classes from this month, March, kind of a representative sample. I'll just let you read those. Hopefully they're not too small. And again, looking at some of the things that your group does, I mean, I would love for somebody from this group to sign up to, and that we have a process, and I can talk you through that. But maybe teach a class on something having to do with Photoshop. I mentioned business model canvas. Here's a graphic. It's 9 blocks. Again, start out with your value proposition, and this is intended to be kind of a group project, maybe your business team and a business advisor, and you kind of go through with stickies, the 3M or the Office Max stickies, and you write down your bullet points and you stick them in these different blocks, and then eventually you fine tune that, and eventually you turn that into a business plan. And that is it. I hope I gave everybody a sense of what we do, the breadth of it, and I'll take any questions or clarify anything that maybe I wasn't clear on.